A life of opulence is not an easy thing to give up. Very few who are born in the lap of luxury choose to venture out looking for struggle. And those few are the ones with character. Those few are the ones who swim with the tide but can change the currents at will. They play by the rules but change the game.
My name is Raghavendra Rathore, and I will take you through a small journey of my humble beginnings. But I would like to share with you the experience of how the initial ideas come to my mind, whether it's fashion, whether it is any aspect of design. It's a process where I feel most comfortable, and I feel it's my space, and it's very important to capture the fluffy idea that sort of starts the birth of some sort of a direction, and then it's like playing a croquis game. You pen it down, and then you doodle something around it, and then you further add something to it, and then you go and have a cup of coffee, come back and look at it and say, oh my God, that's not working. So you go back and rework that, and it's almost like an idea engineering. Most ideas actually start in sort of a very smudgy environment in the mind, and I think you start getting influenced by things around you. But the most important point for anybody who creates, I would think, would be when you actually pen it down. And it's a very a slow process, but nevertheless the most important part of creativity. To me, a game changer really is a person who validates it, respects whatever it is, and with some degree of responsibility takes it forward and walks.
Raghavendra Singh Rathore is one such man. A man who chose to come out of the comforting lap of luxury, challenged the stringent norms that he saw around him, and worked hard towards what he is today. He gathered the good he saw in our country's rich cultural heritage, and through his work made the world take notice. Today, Raghavendra is hailed as the Prince of Indian fashion, and he has lived up to the title in more ways than one.
As a child, when I was first taken to the village and actually pointed out that this is your land, this is your life, this is who you are, it had an impact on me that I can never forget. My father's little finger I was holding and looking at this parched land which had no color, and it became evidently clear to me that it is always about resources. I always go back to the first time I really got to see my India, which changed the way I see things forever. To me, the impact was something which I can carry forward and walk my life in the direction that I would like to take it.
Raghavendra Rathore was born into the erstwhile royal family of Jodhpur state. He had comparatively liberal parents who wanted their eldest son to discover the world and learn to fend for himself from a young age.
And this is the room I grew up in as a child, and I remember touching all these objects at different times in my life and asking my mother, why does this have cut work and why does this have this smooth surface? And I think she was so impatient towards the end. She's like, you've got to go discover, and I did actually. It's interesting that every surface that I touched as a kid now is a memory. So I would come here, run through the beautiful brocades and achkans and all people sitting and enjoying themselves here, and then go into the corridors, go up, and then it's a different world because you have the heavy brocades and very masculine details that you see. And then you go upstairs and you see chiffon and those lovely chudis and bangles and the sound of the ghunguru and some dance taking place there. So To me, it was like a fashion show every day.
We all face stumbling blocks in our lives. But it is in the stumbling and getting back up that the beauty of life lies. Raghavendra's came at a very young age.
So everybody has a tormenting moment in their life, and mine came without any warnings. And I think I must have been about 7, a little younger than that. And my grandfather was still alive, and he was the last ruling person in this region. So the military came and asked us that, can you please lend us the lawn in the front? And so he said, what's going on? And he says, I think there's an attack is imminently going to happen. And just when that was decided, I think the anti-aircraft guns were put outside, and I think 105 bombs that fell that night. And I stood on the roof with my father. Again, my favorite stance with him was to hold his little finger and watch this huge glow towards the east end of Jodhpur. And my father said, that's your school. Unfortunately, it was clear that my life was going to change again, and yet again, and yet again. So without any real knowledge of the world, I was packed off to boarding school, and I was in Mayo College for a good 9.5, 10 years, and it was a lovely journey. I think it shaped me as an individual that understands India so well. But the experience of war and experience of the night that those bombs were dropped in Jodhpur remains in your mind when you're just before the show is about to start, or just before anything that you're doing fresh and new, because there is a challenge there. You don't know, you really don't know what the climax will be.
They say boarding school is a place where boys are made into men, and that in a way is what stands true for Raghavendra. Being sent to the illustrious Mayo College in Ajmer gave him the kind of exposure he could never have had if he would have stayed in the comfort of his home in Jodhpur.
Boarding school was a wonderful, challenging experience for me, because I didn't know what competition really was. Can you add value in 10 minutes? Can you finish an essay in 3 minutes? And this changed my outlook to the value of time. I mean, here everything was frozen in time, and it was really living in a storybook. But coming into a boarding school environment, it really put you into the real perspective, and it was preparing. It was actually the launch, really, of my character. The phenomena of being with the modern Indian was so unique to me that I was really like a sponge, absorbing everything from my friends in Bombay and Delhi.
After he finished school, Raghavendra found that there was no university in the country that he would have liked to study in. He decided then to enroll into the Hampshire College, and the liberal environment there allowed him to choose anthropology and robotics as subjects of study.
It's a very important question that I've been asked throughout my life. I know lots of parents and lots of prospective students, that how important is a design education? I mean, can you actually go through the fashion grill as as an experience, and not really go to a design school? I've always maintained that it's very, very important to go through a formal education to understand design, because the real education actually is what you learn from your colleagues.
Being way outside his comfort zone and in a new environment worked wonders for Raghavendra in college. The qualities that his father had imbibed in him from an early age came to the fore.
So in spite of this opulent setting, I think my father actually trained me very well, and he made me realize the importance of self-service. I think which is a very important lesson for me actually. As a child, I always believed very strongly to know where you come from, but not to amplify that. And when I was away for many years in the US, I did almost everything that every student does there to make your ends meet, because I was supporting myself after the first semester. And it was this initial chat with Dad that came really handy, because I had no inhibitions. I mean, for me to make $9 was more important than to worry about whether I'm doing dishes or writing and making caricatures for the college magazine. So I think it's very important as an individual to recognize your culture, your background, and what makes you who you are, and your last name and your family.
After finishing his studies at Marlborough, Raghavendra had realized his leanings towards the arts and design. He decided to enroll into the Parsons School of Design in New York.
It's very, very important to go through a formal education to understand design, because the real education actually is what you learn from your colleagues, the designers in the class, because the assignments, unlike the academic side of education, are actually very visual. So when you have an assignment given to you to design, let's say, bathing suits, it's really nice on the morning of the presentation to really see what others have conjured up and compare where you stand in the class. And it's a very strong telltale sign as to the efficiency of your work comparatively to the others in the class. And I think that's a very important aspect.
Towards the end of his time at Parsons, Raghavendra was picked by one of the legendary designers of our time, Donna Karan. Between then and now, he's only looked back to draw inspiration from the past. After some time lapsed, Raghavendra was approached by the house of Oscar de la Renta. It was a good opportunity and a challenge at the same time.
My job was really very special. I was meeting the front row clients, the front row ladies for the Oscar de la label, and my job was to service their needs and to make sure that we have the latest collection in their hands, whether it's a purse, whether it's a fur jacket, whether it's a $30,000 outfit. So the job was a very non-table oriented. Do your sketches, do your design, and then move on to the marketing. Every kid in my school wanted my job, but something came upon me to actually look at India as an opportunity. It took me almost 5-6 years to build the slope that I eventually climbed, and when I reached there, I realized that maybe this is not what I really want to do, and maybe I want to go back to my country and build my little empire and my own little brand. Till one day my father asked me to come and visit us, come and visit him rather in Jodhpur, and I did. And I saw things here that really made me see the future. And with a little bit of luring me into doing a show here, Maharaja of Jodhpur gave me the first opportunity, and so we showed our first collection at the Mehrangarh Fort, hoping that once this is done I'll go back to New York, but I stayed on, and everything from there on is what makes me what I am today.
Raghavendra held his first fashion show at the Mehrangarh Fort in his hometown of Jodhpur. It was a kind of homecoming that very few people come by, and after that there was no looking back.
This is actually the location where it all started for me. After I came back, the fashion show that took place, which launched my brand, was right here. The ramp was right in the center, and it was the first time we actually put the tailored look onto the ramp in India. The guests sat here and here, and there's haunting acts that we had put on the left and the right. There was a local craft people who were brought in to create a mysterious evening for, I think, 250, 300 people, and I think it was magical.
His roots have been a huge inspiration for Raghavendra. And after his maiden show at Mehrangarh, he chose to come out of his comfort zone and take up the challenge of starting something of his own. And so the Rathore Jodhpur label came into being in 1994.
After a decade of learning everything I could in Europe and America, I decided to come back to Jodhpur and set up my design setup from a small little humble room at the back, and with talent from the locality. So all my tailors are from Jodhpur. I had to train them and bring value into what they were doing, and they are still with me. So my life has been full of challenges, and the challenges always have doubts, and but I had lots of doubts. But I took all the key questions and put them all in front of me one day, and I said, I'm going to deal with them one by one, and I did. So who doesn't have doubts? I think I had lots of doubts when I was moving from the US and Europe back to India, but I believed very strongly. I really believed that there is a purpose behind all these thoughts that I keep on getting, and it's very important to lay it all out and explore each problem in its own light. Setting up my design studio in Jodhpur was a very difficult question because it's very challenging by itself. And a lot of my colleagues did ask me that it's like going to New York and setting up in Brooklyn. So I said, no, I'll find my way out, and I did.
It was the urge to challenge the norms that has been the basis of the Rathore Jodhpur label. Raghavendra drew inspiration from his roots and from his experiences rubbing shoulders and working with some of the best designers in the world. He went on to combine the two to completely change the game in the Indian fashion industry.
So the biggest challenge I remember facing was looking at my colleagues doing, clothes which had embroideries on them. There was nothing about the cut. The cut was not relevant. So when I put the first breeches on the runway, people were surprised that is that the outfit? I mean, the breeches, I remember Meher Bhasin wore them, and she was wearing a satin trimmed Bandgala jacket, and she came and said, listen, I really like this. And I said, haven't you worn a tailored look before? And they said, well, what tailored look are you talking about? Because no one was doing tailored stuff in India. So to me, to have Rohit Bal then come and tell me that this is really nice, this is different, and I said, but there's no embroidery in anything I've done. He said, that's why it's nice. So we've kept the focus is on tailoring, and I think it's important to have something that sets you apart, and I think we're really basically known for tailoring men's wear and now moving into women's wear.
Over the years, Raghavendra and the Rathore Jodhpur label have grown by leaps and bounds, and they have not compromised on the principles they started out with. It was Raghavendra who globalized one of India's biggest exports to the international fashion world, the Bandgala jacket. And when he saw the design was being replicated, he decided to file for a patent on the cut that he had perfected. Today, the Rathore Jodhpur label is set to make the best Bandgala jackets in the world.
The most important thing for the next generation is to keep focus on the idea of Indianness. The indigenous value that we all inherently have is the best tool and the best weapon you have to create whatever you might want to, whether it's a book, whether it's a movie, whether it's a fashion item. I think the ability to sustain yourself through the next 10 decades is with the person who has this unique magic of looking inward rather than looking outward and going to Google and making your product look very, common.
Raghavendra Rathore's journey started in a small town. He is a man who has been all over the world and experienced the extremes that it has to offer. From great opulence to the struggle of doing dishes and making caricatures to earn sustenance. His learnings from these experiences are what have gotten him where he is and set him apart as a game changer.
This is what my father told me, that if you create something which has got value, they will always find you. And it's worked like magic for me, because I focused, and I really focused on one thing. And I think that is the biggest challenge, but that overcoming that and keep on walking while you make adjustments, corrections, and readapt the product till the point where people say, okay, that's what we want and we will find you.